Hiya folks, welcome to Captain of Industry. The Update 2 has just been released yesterday as of time of recording, maybe a couple of days by the time you see this. I don't know, editing is hard. let's play some Captain of Industry, let's have a little look at the new update. Hopefully that's going to be something interesting that you all want to see. If not, don't watch, I guess. So yeah, Update 2 just came out yesterday. It's looking great. This one's the Update 2 map. It's 4 times bigger than any of the other maps, which I'm super excited about. All the other maps, this You Shall Not Pass is one of my favourite maps, but we're not going to be playing that today. All these maps have been redone using the map editor that's built into the game. All the stuff you see here, you can create that. So we're going to play on the new map because why wouldn't we? And this one of the new things in the update is we have multiple starting locations on each map. So if we have a look and we can show resources on here, we'll come back to that there. But starting position 1, 2, 3, 4, and I believe the screenshots are this is start 1, start 2, start 3, and start 4. And if we show resources, they've all got difficulties. Number 4 is insane. And if you know your way around this game, you can probably see why. Like, one of the first things you need in this game is iron, and that's iron there. Like, you can't drive a truck to there from the start. You'll have to dig a ramp all the way around, terraform a whole bunch of stuff just to get up there to get iron, which is one of your first resources that you need to sustainably produce. So like, we're not going to use this start. I'm not confident that I can even manage this start. What we're do instead, we're going to go for starting location 3. I did a little test game and had a look, and this looks really interesting because the coal is all the way over here. Coal is the other thing you need very early. When I had a little test, you can drive up this little bit and you can drive around to it. You can't drive over here, but that gives us a really good first target for doing some earthworks and making ourselves a ramp to make a little shortcut up there. And then the only water source is up here on this really rough ground, so we're going to have to flatten that out enough to be able to build a pump at some point. This is the start we're going to use. This is the map we're going to use. This will be a mix of like actual gameplay and me talking about stuff that's in the update that I'm excited about, because yeah, I'm excited about it. So yeah, the other thing is here, the Browse Community Maps, they've got their own like website hub where you can upload your map creations, and I believe mods and stuff. It's an external browser thing, so I can't really show you that just now without being a lot more competent with OBS than I actually am. So yeah, let's skip over that. Maybe I can do a video on that at some point if anyone's interested in that. Like, yeah, also the map editor, if anyone's interested in seeing a video about the map editor, I'd be more than happy to do a bit of research and do a bit of figuring out how that works and show you that all as well. But yeah, let's hit next. We've got our options here. This has been changed in the update as well. The 3 difficulty options are kind of the same. You know how difficulty options work: easy, medium, and hard. But this is all new. Instead of it just being one big page with all the difficulties, which you still can access. You can still do this, all the individual bits and pieces, but instead you've got these kind of themed options. So for example, the tutorials. We want tutorials. I'm going to leave those on, even though I know how to play the game, because it gives you like a structured set of goals to go through, and if you do that, you get resources. And I quite like having resources. The other thing is these realism stuff. This is a lot of stuff that was like automatically or always active in the old game. I'm going to switch that on. I know how to play the game kind of well enough that we're hopefully not going to encounter any starvation. But if we do, like, I'd rather have the consequences, to be honest. So yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to leave the casual and resources boost thing off, and we're also going to switch on ore sorting. Which I haven't had a look at. That's a new thing for this update. Maybe that'll be really interesting to play with. We're not really going to do much else. This is all just what we picked in the previous one. We're going to name our game. What do we want in our game? Reclaimed Colony, Resourceful Greens. Ha! Okay, I like that. I like that for like personal non-game reasons. Let's go with that. So usually I would cut out the loading times, but one thing, so when I was doing my test game, I noticed that things have really changed around here. If you've played this game before, you'll know that the game takes a long time to load, like 2 or 3 minutes, even on my quite good computer. Now that's just there. I didn't have to fill a lot of time with the loading screen at all. I mean, assuming that it's actually going to finish, it's stuck on 100%. Come on, come on, come on. So yeah, the loading times have improved. I believe from what they said, that's to do with the way the new map editor works and the way the maps are made from that. But yeah, loading time done. Here we go. We've got our little lore entry. Close that off. I'll pause on start, as you do with every strategy game. And this is what we're talking about. So if we look, look at our resources. We've only got a little bit of flat land here to build on, and then we'd have to go up into this quite narrow valley to build stuff on here. And then we can go around here. So I put the resource view on. So we have sand. I think there's like a beach over here that we can get sand from, but there's also quartz, which I don't think we have access to. You can break that down into sand if you want to. I don't know where there is. Where's the quartz? Maybe there's just none on the island. I think that's quartz over there, so that's not any use to us. There's limestone, that's there. We don't need that until we start making concrete, which is a wee bit down the way. There's coal. We will need access to that because that's going to be the backbone of all our smelting operations. Iron ore, looks like we've got plenty of that and it's quite accessible. We'll talk about that in a second. A little bit of copper ore. We don't need as much copper ore as we do iron, and we don't need it as soon as we need iron, but we will need it. And then gold, we don't need. That's like end game material resources. I think there's nothing. Yeah, that's miles away. I think that's that over there. Yeah, we don't need to worry about that right now. Crude oil will be pretty useful. We need that to make fuel. We need fuel for our trucks. Our trucks will be our trucks are going to be the way we move most of our stuff around. And then groundwater, that's important for many things, primarily farming, but also like a bunch of other industrial processes, and also later on once we unlock steam power as well. So yeah, this is where we start. We've got a very small starting area. We've got our ship. That's why we're the captain, because we've got the ship. We've got a dock. The dock is damaged. We can't use the ship until we repair the dock. We also have some resources. The problem is, all of these things are finite, right? We've only got so much in our shipyard, and we don't have any factories to make more of those. We don't have a way to make more of those. We do have an old communication station that has some bricks and iron scraps, which we'll use to make construction parts. The problem is we also don't know how to make most of the things, right? We've only got, like seven-ish buildings that we know how to make. We don't know how to make the building that makes construction parts. We don't know how to make the building that makes any vehicles. We don't know how to do any of that stuff. So yeah, we're just going to follow the tutorial. We don't want the tutorial pop-ups, but the little tutorial tasks, because they are, like, for the most part, they are the things we need to do anyway, so we might as well follow them and get a little reward. So we need a coal maker, like that. Here we go. And I'm just going to put this anywhere. I don't really have a plan for where everything's going. No, I don't want that there. I want it here, and I'll show you why in a second, because we need to move like this. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so the coal maker makes coal out of wood. The blast furnace makes molten iron out of scraps and coal. The scraps are what are in that old radio station. Later on we'll open the option of mining ore, and we'll get a new recipe in this building. But the molten stuff, molten iron, comes out here, and I think I've done it wrong. Yeah, I've done it wrong. Okay. Back to the cut, and we're going to move up one more to here, because both the coal maker and the blast furnace make waste gases. So we need to build like a smokestack so that those can be vented into the atmosphere, to be the problem of all those weirdos who breathe. Like, whoa, like, who do they think they are? You know? And the reason we have to build a separate building for venting those. It's not integrated into the main building, as later on you get an option to take that exhaust and like clean it up. I can't remember exactly what you do to it, but it makes it less polluting. So yeah, they're going to be building all of our trucks here. They're going to do their thing. We've also got a tree harvester. So the tutorial wants us to add 2 trucks to this tree harvester. I'm going to do that and then immediately remove one of them because I only want 1 truck it's assigned to that. And we also need to tell it which trees to chop down. Yeah, so we're going to make some coal. With this, we're going to make some molten iron with this, and then it's going to go into our metal caster and get turned into regular iron. We don't have anything to use iron plates on right now. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at this other one, is the food production. But the first part of that is actually all about doing research, right? So we need a generator. I'm going to use the quick deliver. So we have this resource called Unity, which passively increases like 1.55 per month. Yeah, there's a bunch of different uses, and we'll see them all over time. But yeah, the reason we want a power plant is we want a research lab. And in this update, in the previous update, research labs didn't use power. You had to actually research how to make power plants. But that's a really interesting change because it changes the early game a little bit by making you make this as well, but it changes how the entire kind of early to mid game works because you have to have enough diesel to power your research lab, right? We'll just quick deliver that. I'm impatient. You're going to see me doing a lot of quick delivering, and we've got the resources for it, so we might as well. So yeah, we're producing iron over here, so that's going to happen. The only other thing, there we go, iron production completed, 16 out of 16. Collect some resources, excellent. That's what we want. Resources are good. Resources are fine. We now have a lab. It wants us to research basic farming and construction. So let's just start doing that. We've got 53 months of food and we're still only in the first year. So I think we'll do construction first and then we'll do farming and then we'll do vehicles and mining. Add all those to the queue. I'm just double clicking to do that. And then we'll do maintenance. Like, yeah, okay, that's enough. That's enough queuing things up. If you left it up to me, I would queue out the entire research queue straight away. But we're not going to do that. And while we're waiting for that research to happen, firstly, I'm going to build another lab because like that's going to be really slow otherwise. And I really like how the shape of these kind of makes them fit on this ragged coastline. But that should be okay. Why not just quick deliver it? But while we're doing that, there's one other building that we have access to right from the start, and you can see another one of our tutorial goals is about that. We've got a waste collection thing, and this lets us get into one of the kind of best and most unique things about this game, which is the terraforming. So we're going to build this, and that's going to mean that right now there's 14 waste in the settlement. That's going to give us a bigger buffer for that. It's going to give us a 200 size buffer. Those 14 immediately move to there. That gives a place for our trucks to pick up that waste and take away. And where do they take it to? Well, they just dump it somewhere. On the ground, in the sea. It doesn't matter to the trucks. It matters to me a little bit. I'm kind of thinking, I haven't made a plan for where I want to dump this stuff, so I think maybe that's going to be our plan to get up here. Actually, let's look at this so we can see the contour lines. So I tested this earlier. That's too steep for trucks to drive up, so I don't think we want to. Yeah, I think we want to do something like this. So let's make like a ramp. Ding. Oh, so that's so what's the height here? 11 is the height here. We'll make a little ramp. I think that lines up. Yeah, look at that. That lines up perfectly. We'll move it in a bit. We'll move it in just a little bit so that we're not, so that we don't have to spend as much resources to make that ramp. But what will happen is once enough waste happens here, the trucks will come and pick it up. They'll take it here and they'll dump it on the ground and they'll build that ramp up there. And yeah, everything will be good and happy and no one will complain about us dumping waste all over the ground, I'm sure. So we just picked up a research there. That little ding sound is new. It actually scared me. Like when I was loading it the first time, I had my speakers on quite loud when I was loading the game, and it came, and when it finished loading, it made that ding sound, and I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" I was I was like, "Is the game crashed or something?" But yeah, that's new. So we have unlocked a new building. We see it here, General Machines Assembly One, and oh, this is a new skin for the building. I must have missed that in the notes that was a thing that happened. But yeah, let's just dump this here for now. This is like a really poor layout. Like long term, we want something a bit less chaotic. But this is where we build our construction parts. It's where we can build mechanical parts and electronics as well, but it's going to be a while before we need either of those. But construction parts are super important to be able to build straight away because, yeah, everything we've been building has been on there. If we look, quantity, we started with 480 and we're down to 200 of them, so we've used up more than half just from what we've built right there. But now that we've got this assembly being constructed, we'll be able to make our own, and that'll make things a lot more sustainable over time. And to build those, we use iron, which we're making. So this communication station provides iron scraps, which we're turning into iron. It provides bricks, which we're also using for construction materials, and it uses wood, which we're just chopping down trees for. So yeah, we're gonna have to find a more sustainable source for iron and bricks going forward. Wood will last us a long time. That's a lot of trees. I don't think that's going to be a problem for quite some time. but yeah, we've done the waste thing. You can see the first little bits of waste dumped on the ground there. We'll just let them do that over time. It'll take a while, but we'll check in on it every now and again. So we'll just collect the resources, take the loot. What else? We finished farming. Okay, we need to build a farm, which means we need a place let's put our contour lines back on. We don't have a lot of space down here. I don't want to build it away up here because it's so far away. I mean, maybe the only time trucks will need to go to the farm is when a crop comes in. So maybe up here would work. Maybe that is a good idea. Let's just put it down here for now. We can always delete it. I think we'll need a second farm at some point soon, anyways. So we can always do that. We'll leave a bit of space so that the trucks can get around both sides of here. They might not be able to get around that side, but that's fine. This isn't something we're going to have in place long term. As soon as we finish taking away all this stuff, the building will disappear. So we don't need to worry about that. I would like to move this food market around to this side maybe at some point. Maybe. Do I? I was thinking about that earlier because I was thinking expanding out these settlements because these settlements only have a finite number of occupants. Obviously we can't do it there because there's a hill in the way. We could do it there. We can't do it there because the food market and the farm are in the way. So maybe that's going to be our longer term plan. Either we take away this farm and use all this space for like 3 more housing blocks, or we move the housing blocks up into this sort of space and build farms nearby that can supply food to them. But yeah, we're a long way from that. We're only like 2/3 of our population right now, so that should be fine. But yeah, let's unpause again. I just paused when I noticed OBS crashing. So yeah, we can keep going. We've unlocked farming. That'll get built. All the stuff's there, so it's just going to take its time to do the animation. Okay, vehicles and mining. So this will let us get into the fun stuff. So the vehicle system and the mining system of this game are really unique and interesting. I think at least. So let's just put down a vehicle depot so that we can build some excavators. And what that'll do is, you see these mountains, they're kind of orangey. That's all iron ore. There's ore in them there hills. So we're going to be using excavators to dig it out, and then we can put it in here. You see now we've got a recipe to use iron ore and coal to make molten iron, and also slag. The interesting thing about slag is the slag will also go in where we're dumping that waste. The slag will also go there, so that'll help that do that. That'll help us build that ramp faster. So yeah, I'm going to activate that, but I'm going to leave it there so you can change the priority. And if it's got the resources for both recipes, it'll always pick the one at the top. And I wanted to do the one with the iron scrap so we can use up all this first before we try and use ore. It's just a better recipe. And here's the ore sorting plant. This is the new building I was talking about. The new functionality where we sort ore into its components. So let's quick deliver that. Select product to sort iron ore. Okay, so output iron ore, unsorted input. Okay, so this is interesting. So you can choose what counts as a sorted ore, and then unsorted input, and then output there. What happens to the rest of it? Okay, that's going to be interesting. It needs to be assigned with the products to sort. Sort that. Sort rock and dirt. Right, okay, because it's got 4 outputs, I see. So I think we pick up to 4 things. And then anything else goes into the unsorted input. So what else might we get? Yeah, there's nothing else we'll get because we're only going to use this for iron mining. So we can just do that. We can just leave that like that. Let's tell our vehicle depot we want 2 excavators and 8 pickups. I don't know. Our vehicle limit is 60, so we'll be building loads of these over time anyway. But 2 excavators is fine. I would rather use coal directly rather than turning wood into coal. Maybe that's not the best idea. We'll leave it doing what it's doing right now. Let's do some research. When we research trading dock, which let's do that next. And then we'll do diesel production and beacon. We'll talk about those and tools actually. Yeah, I want tools. Yeah, so once we get our trading dock, we'll be able to trade wood for a whole bunch of other stuff. So having wood available to trade rather than burning it all into coal is probably better in my opinion. So let's build a mining tower. Let's get into the mining game. I do love a bit of mining. So how this works, we have a mining control tower that tells the game where it's acceptable for so it has an area, and we assign we just finished building an excavator, so we assign an excavator to dig stuff, and then we assign a couple of trucks to take it away. And now that we looked at the dumping designation before, and now we've got a mining designation as well. So we want to figure out where even is there, like, I think let's look at the resource view, because there is a bunch of iron underground here, but there isn't any on the surface. So I think we want to kind of start on this flat ground and dig down like this, make a giant ugly wound into the ground, and yeah, there we go. That should be okay. It is below sea level, but as long as we don't connect it to the sea, we won't get a flood. And I don't think this is going to be very useful immediately, because it's only picking up dirt and then rock and stuff until it finishes digging down and finds the actual ore. So that should be okay, because we've still got plenty of iron scraps. And yeah, our food production, we made a bunch of potatoes. We're going up. We've finished that one. We've now got 55 months worth of food, which is about what we started with, so we're keeping up, which is cool. I'm always a big fan. So the farm we've got right now gets its water from the rain. So when it stops raining, the water level drops, and eventually the it stops growing and you lose yield from it. In future, we'll get better technology for that. So we've already looked at vehicles and mining maintenance. We've got trading dock already. We'll come back to that. What's this? Okay, yeah, it's from the trading dock as well. Maintenance. If we look, okay, but this one doesn't have it. This truck has a maintenance requirement. It needs 2 maintenance objects per 60 seconds. It starts with like 300% of its requirement just to give you the time to research how to do maintenance. This is the building that makes it. It uses, let's just chuck this here for now. I'm not really that interested in optimizing the layout to start. I think we're going to have to do a bit of earthworks to flatten out some areas or get access up here before we can really do efficient layouts. But this building turns electronics and mechanical parts into maintenance. We can't, can we? So we can, yeah, okay, so we unlocked mechanical parts when we researched that. So we can make them. They just use iron, which we're already making. Electronics we can make out of rubber and copper. We have some, but we're not currently making those. And we'd have to do research before we can. We should be okay. This is plenty. It'll last us quite a lot of time. So I'm not too concerned about the fact that we're not currently making those. Maintenance, especially in the early game, the global need is 49 max. So that's almost as much as this depot can handle, right? Oh no, it can make 105 per month. We're making more than double of our maximum possible need, assuming that, I think the difference between the actual need and the maximum depends on how much driving around is happening. Maintenance, yeah, that's literally all we need to do for maintenance is create that, and then it tells us what our percentage is. This one will store up to 630, so we'll see that slowly creep up to 100%. If it starts dropping again, that means we need to do something about it. We need to keep an eye on that. Because if your maintenance runs out, your trucks grind to a halt, your buildings grind to a halt, everything just becomes not particularly great. So yeah, well, it's trading dock. Let's get a trading dock right away. Can we build it here? Yeah, okay, so trading docks have to be built on the coast, as you can imagine, but you also have to make sure like it's got a path to the ocean. I don't think we could build it